Two defending state champions going head-to-head tonight right here in Rochester. Powerhouse program Caledonia and the Rochester Lured Eagles. Your team went on the road, upset the Packers. What was the game plan heading in, and what did you see from your team that night? Tonight's game between the Grizzlies and the North Iowa Bulls is sold out, which means only 250 fans are allowed into the arena. New week, same very cold temps. I'm finally getting feeling back in my hands again. The Eagles are coming off one of the biggest upsets in the postseason. They took down the top-seeded and undefeated Stewartville Tigers over the weekend, and they did that as the 8th seed. The Rocks walked it off in the 11th inning, but the Hawkers have a chance to even the series tonight in front of a home crowd. There's a lot of changes this season, and one of the biggest ones is the fact you guys moved conferences. So I know it's still pretty early in the season, but how do you think the team has responded to that change? This snow, it's not good for packing snow. So if you were looking to have a snowball fight or build a fort or a snowman, maybe not the best, but it is really good for sledding. There are a couple of phrases that the baseball world just loves to hear. Play ball and opening day are among them. Well, today you get to hear both. To say Florida is busy with pro sports would be an understatement. MLS's back tournament, the NBA gearing up for their return this week, now the WNBA joining in. The Twins continue to impress. Last night they broke the record for the most home runs by any major league team prior to the All-Star break with 162. Then they hit 3 more. They also hit 9 doubles on Friday, the most in a single game in team history. The Big Ten has proven it is the deepest conference in men's college basketball this season. Tonight, a matchup of 2 top 10 teams as Iowa visits Michigan. Now this game punch for punch in the first half. Luka Garza nothing but net from the top of the arc. That makes it a 1-point game. Just before halftime, Austin Davis beats the buzzer with a tip-in, Michigan up 3, and they use that momentum going into the second half. The Wolverines catch fire offensively, outscoring the Hawkeyes by 19 after halftime. Iowa no match for Michigan in Ann Arbor. The Wolverines win handedly, 79-57. There are bound to be nerves when going up against one of the best teams in the state, especially when it's the first time competing at this level. But unseeded Dodge County didn't seem the least bit rattled when taking on #1 seed Hermantown in the quarterfinals. A highly anticipated matchup between the Wildcats and the Hawks. That's for a couple reasons. One, the talent both teams bring, and the fact that the Hawks are turning to JV players since most of their varsity squad is in quarantine due to a COVID-19 exposure last week. First period, it's all Dodge County. He leads the state in goals and points for a reason. Brody Lamb with back-to-back goals to put the Wildcats up 2-0. Hawks trying to cut into their lead. Isaac Dale locked in for DC. Closing minutes of the first period, Cooper Jacobson gets it off the boards, top shelf shot, and a 3-goal lead heading into first intermission. It really doesn't come as a surprise that the RCTC women's basketball team is 8-0, especially with a well-rounded roster. What might be surprising is that last year, they didn't have enough players to even have a team. Prior to the Yellow Jackets' first game this season, head coach Jason Bondi told me, if you're building a program, this is the group you want to start with. From no season to no losses. It's been quite the year for the RCTC women's basketball program.
I didn't expect us to be 8-0. I expected us to have a chance to be 8-0.
We all kind of surprised ourselves, definitely.
The Yellow Jackets' impressive start stems from a couple of things. One is the team chemistry.
There was an adjustment period that happened early where they're trying to get to know each other, figure each other out. It's a testament to who they are as people that has allowed them to be successful on the court.
Most of the players are local products, so familiarity was already there. That's especially the case with Cassidy Broadwater and Candace Sickink, the former Fillmore Central Falcons who've been teammates for most of their careers.
It was made things a lot easier to have that up here, and then to have us playing together, we can kind of go off on everybody else, that we can read each other and we know how to play together, and then everyone else kind of picks up and feeds off of it, so then it makes playing with everyone else a lot easier.
But there's only chemistry because there's a team. Last year, RCTC did not have a season because they didn't have the numbers to fill out a roster. So it gave head coach Jason Bondi the time to recruit differently and strategically.
I have an opportunity to recruit more and to recruit hard, and fortunate for me, they all wanted to come play and do this, and the good thing is this is their first year. I get them all back again next year, so I'm looking forward to that too.
Even with success against every level in junior college, the Yellow Jackets aren't looking too far ahead.
We take it one game at a time, one day at a time, because if we do that one day at a time and continue to come together, especially on the court, we will accomplish things down the road.
We definitely put in the work to be here 8-0, so we're really proud of ourselves, but we're just going to keep going.
Not only laying the foundation for the rest of the year, but for future seasons.
For me to have this in my first year is rare, but I'll take it every year, and I'm going to try to run with it as much as I can.
Relationships that form within the sports world are special. That's why the word family is used a lot. Well, down in Grand Meadow, a wrestler and his family are receiving love and support far and wide during a time when they truly need it most. Coming into his junior year of high school, Wesley Salto set a couple of goals: make the starting lineup for the football team and make it to the state wrestling tournament. But everything changed for him and his family around Christmas.
He just had a lump on the side of his neck, so we just took him in for a regular checkup, not thinking anything. And I think that was the Monday after Christmas holiday. And then January 7th, they called and told us.
At just 17 years old, Wesley was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma.
You know, why us? Why him? The emotions are, it's just unbelievable what you feel. And until you can get an answer of how we're going to attack this, it kind of made it feel a little bit better. But it's like, okay, you don't know what road is he going to take, what's going to happen.
Right away it was kind of overwhelming. You don't really expect something like that to happen to you, but I think after a while you kind of learn that that's what it is and what you're going to have to deal with for however long.
As the news of Wesley's diagnosis spread, support poured in from all over, particularly the wrestling community.
It's humbling that knowing that people from all across Minnesota and northern Iowa, the kids that he wrestled with when he was 5 years old, they still stay in touch, and now they're reaching out, text messages, Facebook messages. It's just overwhelming. Just words just can't express how big this wrestling family is.
The support from everyone helps a lot with that too, knowing that people are going to be behind you while you're fighting whatever it is that you have to.
The support isn't only coming from online. Wesley's aunt is heading a t-shirt fundraiser, and so far more than 700 shirts have been ordered. Between 300 and 400 are just in the wrestling community alone. In the end, it doesn't matter where someone lives or what school they compete for. The wrestling family knows no bounds.
We compete on the mat, but yet when we're off the mat, it's one big family. The wrestling community is, and like I said, it goes far beyond the school district communities.
Really cool to see all these wrestlers from different schools come together and support us, just like we would support them if they had someone on the wrestling team who was suffering from some kind of sickness.
And it's a two-way street. While the community shows up for Wesley and his family, he continues to do the same for his team. Even with his diagnosis and the pandemic, Wesley tries to attend practices and meets whenever he can, which is inspiring his teammates in more ways than one.
He shows up and it gives the guys a little more things to fight for.
At the meets, we just want to win for him, wrestle for him, get wins in his name.
Just like the shirt says, nothing is stopping Wesley. He's Salto strong.
He's not taking this laying down. He's a wrestler. He's a fighter. I'm going to take this thing on, and it's not going to beat me.
I'm going to have to fight for all of it. On good days and bad, that there's always going to be a fight for the day ahead of me. And wrestling's helped me because that's what I've learned to do, the mentality that we have to fight for everything.